Hola, corazones, una vez más. So I'm making now the fourth one. We just finished reading, yeah, this Como Agua para Chocolate, the first 3 pages. Una, dos, and up to number 76, yeah? That's all we had. That's 55 minutes, 55 minutitos. So what we wanted to notice is that I am showing you verbs, yeah? We're finishing the semester with both regular and irregular verbs. So every time you see that in a space you have an E to IE or one of those, that's how often verbs are irregular. It's very frequent. So again, I taught you when you saw my other video that it's normal, completely normal, for verbs to end in AR, ER, or ER. That tells us a verb is a word. I mean, a word is a verb. Vale? Ahora, we know that this is normal for verbs to end in those 3. And we know that I'm always presenting my pronouns, right? The I and you and he, she, it, my singulars, then my plurals. And so we see that for the most part, what is a little bit different from Spanish and English is that something like to speak, yeah? When you think of my singulars, I speak, you speak. Let's look at my plurals. We speak, they speak. Do you see how speak doesn't change? So, English doesn't vary the endings of the verb, but Spanish does. And that is pretty normal. We notice that every subject has its own ending. O, as, a, amos, an. But if it's a nosotros form, right, for AR verb, it's hablamos. If it's an ER verb, it's bebemos. And maybe an IR verb for nosotros, escribimos. So that's pretty normal, right? Amos, hemos, imos, each their own ending. AR, ER, IR. Bien, no worries. So you remember what makes a verb irregular, irregular. It doesn't have anything to do with the endings, This o, as, a, amos, an, totally normal. What makes a verb irregular, if you remember from the last video, was that in the root, yeah, not the ending, but whatever's left over in the root, I have a change. Like maybe a change of vowel. Do you see, corazones, how my little E right here, my little E is going to change to IE, right? Inside of my little shoe. I have that little change. Because I already made the change in there, sometimes I have a different little one. Do you see how my base is just thin? If nothing changes, then it's a normal verb. But look, I added a G. That is not normal. That's irregular. And most of the time we call them shoe verbs because inside of the shoe, the little verb and it's the little vowel, and it's not just the vowel at the end. That's the ending. It's the vowel right before it. You see my E becomes IE, to want, querer. You see the E has become an IE. Again, to prefer, preferir, my E has become an IE. So if a verb is not normal, corazones, if it's irregular, we're going to see that it's probably a problem with the vowel. My vowel is changing, or maybe I have added a consonant, in the yo, in the I form, right here. I meaning I'm the first person, right? Entonces, what else? When we finish the semester, we're going to do some of the verbs that just add a G in the yo form. The moment that, you see how when you get rid of my ending right there, we're left with HAC, hacer, to do or to make? Well, I just added a G. That makes this verb irregular. Look at ser. If it were, like I mentioned, a normal ER verb like comer or beber, I would just plug my endings, right? I would be so, ses, se, semos, sen, if it were normal. Because I would get rid of my little ending and I would just plug in my endings. But look, it's not so, ses, se, semos, sen. It's all irregular. Sometimes they're irregular all around, not just because of the Y, because of a lot of the other ones too. Yeah? Look at estar. It was almost normal, but I added a Y in the yo form. That made it irregular. Okay? Look at the verb to go, ir. Look, if I get rid of this, ding, there's no verb. So all I really have is a verb that means to go, ir. So I almost had to invent a verb by creating some V's, right? That didn't exist before. That's irregular. So I just wanted to show you that when we're speaking in Spanish, we really can't force only the normals or only the irregulars. We're always just mixing them, yeah? So if you want, as a strategy, to go ahead and grab your highlighter, that will bring to your attention the verbs that have that stem change, you know, the verbs that are irregular right there, ¿vale? So you can see that we have quite a few. I'm going to just read a few, grab your papers and highlight them, okay, amores? 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 16 y 18. So little by little, as you keep going through these, you'll see them repeat a lot. You see querer, to want, look, 3 times it's repeated here. Querer, querer, querer. And we realize, of course, check your page 61. You can use it when you're doing this. Of course, it's an E to IE verb. And I have already guided you by saying E to IE. So that means that when you see these little parentheses, right, go not to your ending, but go to the vowel right before it, and that little E will turn into IE, and therefore, you know, it would be ellos quieren. And I think you see, yeah, that irregularity, the E has become IE, yeah? Entonces, let's go a la página 63. Let's grab your little highlighters, corazones, so it really can pop out. You can expect an irregularity from all of these, okay? Continuamos. Let's highlight 27 y 28. 38 y 39. Volver, see to return. I'm telling you how it's irregular. O to UE, just like acostar, to sleep with a person. O to UE. So that little O right there is going to become a UE once you conjugate it in there, ¿vale? A ver, tenemos también el número 49 y 50 y 57. To lose, perder. Muy bien. Y finalmente, on the last page, we just had a few more. 60, 63. You see the vowel change, right? Every time I'm highlighting this, I'm telling you irregular verb, right? Querer, that's very familiar by now. 60, 63, 65, 68, 70 y 74. And we did up to number 75, 76, something like this. ¿Vale? Entonces, queridos, I hope that this has been helpful. And when we Zoom tomorrow, maybe you want to read the translation before we read this together. And we'll be ready to talk about these characters a little bit, ¿ok? Muchísimas gracias. Es un placer. Hasta mañana. Adiós. Un abrazo.